think we could all agree that Ronna, I, you guys, you know this, right? Like it's a slip. It keeps happening. I keep wanting to say Ronald McDonald. Ronna McDaniel was not exactly up to the task. And I don't know why that is. Maybe she was just too concerned with her audience of one, which would be Donald Trump, and she needed to play to him at all times. And here's the thing, if you're a party, you need to be able to service the party. Look at what just went down in New York last night. I mean, George Santos' seat not going to the Republican who was literally amazing on paper. This woman was born in Egypt, raised in Israel. So she was Jewish, she was Israeli, she was Egyptian. And by the way, she fought in the IDF. Like I was like, and she was attractive and had, a beautiful family. And I'm like, really? Like, did someone just pluck her out of some kind of catalog for perfect candidate? And yet they couldn't get Santos's seat with her. The Democrats now have it. That tells me you have a party that wasn't backing her, that didn't have the right operational strength. Granted, Donald Trump is saying, well, she didn't back me, and that's why she didn't win. Possibly, right? Because you have this rift in the party. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I do think that you got to somehow get a handle on things. You got to have a party where somebody's in charge, and Ronna McDonald was not in. There we go. McDaniel was not in charge in the way that you need to be. So they are going to bring in new people. They're talking about this Watley guy. That is who Donald Trump has nominated from North Carolina. I don't know him really at all. I imagine he's being brought in because he's being seen as strong on the organizational front, and you need that. And hopefully strong on the visionary front. You certainly need that. I mean, Trump has a ton of vision, but then who's there to help see that vision through? That's the real question. That's the missing link right now. So Lara Trump is being recommended as the co-chair. Now, this is smart only in that Lara, very smart, wonderful person, really wonderful person. I mean, I got to say, like, all of these kids, she's not his daughter, but she's his daughter-in-law. She has a wonderful husband. They are just wonderful, very polite, very gracious people. I can say that all my interactions with her have been truly, truly stellar. So she's great on television, and she will do all the television that you need. She's a great communicator. So she's a wonderful person to have out there as co-chair, who's really kind of carrying the message forward. But who's coming up with the message? And it makes Donald Trump feel better because she's a family member. I get it. And she's loyal to him. But who's coming up with the message? I'm just going to float this one out there, okay, guys? You know Bannon, right? Steve Bannon. I'm just going to tell you, he is a brilliant man. Brilliant. He gets what resonates in America. He passionately defends this country, loves this country, and has the chops, right, to sort of back. I mean, he's got a tremendous background. He was in the military. He went to Harvard and was at Goldman Sachs. I was at Goldman Sachs too one day, but he was there in a much more significant capacity because he was a managing director at Goldman. Look, the guy is really smart. He's super hardworking, and he is a visionary. He sees things and anticipates things, and you need that, right? Because the Republicans need some ground game. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is an election year. We got a big thing going down. And if the Democrats are going to aggressively get out their grassroots effort and go door to door and register people and get their absentee ballots, well, Republicans can do that too. I mean, don't take your ball and go home. Figure it out and play the game better, because I do believe we are more talented. We just need the right leadership in place. Now, I'm sure, Steve, we got to get him on the show. I'm sure he would say, no way. There's no way I'm going to do that. And he's very productive where he is with his podcast, War Room, which is a great show. And it's probably not worth it for him to do it at this particular moment in time. But I do think that someone like that, right, a visionary, is needed for the party. Because it's one thing to have your primetime show, which is Donald Trump. But then what about your morning show? What about your mid-afternoon show? What about your overnight? I'm thinking like a programmer, okay? Like if I've got a 24-hour news network and I got to make sure that I've got programming in every slot that's going to beat every other network. This is my background. What do? I make sure that we have a cohesive message with different kinds of personalities and anchors, but you know what? It all comes through. And so that is the management and leadership of the organization. So the RNC is desperately in need of that. I don't know the gentleman from North Carolina, maybe that's what he's going to be, but what comes to my mind? Someone like Bannon, really. I mean, someone like Bannon, and definitely someone like Lara is phenomenal. And she can get that message across. But you also need somebody not just who's coming up with the big ideas, and Trump can do a lot of that, but then the follow through. Who's saying, okay, did we do this? Did we do that? Did we do this? Did we do that? I mean, sometimes it can be kind of a painful job in that respect, but they need someone, and they need someone badly.